Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
Stanley said, "If you need my help, just ask." Spencer shook his head. "No, focus on getting ready for your wedding with Tia." "Right, your wedding's the main thing. We'll handle the rest," Samuel added. "Preston thinks we should talk about our plan," Preston said. Nicole thought for a bit and then agreed. "Okay, let's do this. We will." After everyone agreed on the plan and left, Nicole went back to her room. Jared was there, reading at the desk. "You're reading." Nicole came over, hugging Jared from behind and leaning on him. Jared closed his book and sat Nicole on his lap, whispering, "Looks like you all have a plan." He guessed the meeting was over since Nicole was back. "Preston found some useful info for us," Nicole told him. Jared nodded, realizing their talk was over. He trusted they would fill him in when needed. He stroked her hair gently and whispered, "Let's get some sleep." "I'm pretty tired," Nicole agreed, smiling and resting her head on his shoulder. Jared looked at her lovingly, then carefully picked her up and carried her to the bed. Nicole, holding him tightly, smiled happily, looking completely at peace and joyful. It was a very dark night. Everett, having found a place to stay, looked around the small room quietly, his face showing acceptance. "Sir, we should stay here for now, it's safer," Akila mentioned. He had noticed Everett wasn't happy, so he emphasized the importance of safety. Everett made a non-committal sound, showing he got the point, even if he wasn't thrilled. "I'm going to sleep," Doretta mentioned, looking at them before leaving the room. She knew Everett letting her stay was a big deal and didn't want to push her luck by hanging around too much. "She knows her place," Akila remarked a bit coldly, then asked Everett, "Sir, do you think we can trust her?" "It doesn't matter. She has nowhere else to go and might still be helpful," Everett answered. He thought to himself, "Whether I can trust her isn't really important, as I don't intend to have her stay with us for long." "Got it," Akila nodded. Everett, with a bit of a cold look, asked, "Got any updates?" "The police are looking for you, and the Riddle family hasn't done much, which is strange. They all met up at their family manor today, looking pretty busy," Akila informed. "Nicole knows what I'm up to," Everett said coldly, guessing she alerted everyone, maybe worrying he'd want revenge. Understanding what Everett meant, Akila quietly asked, "Is our plan still on?" "I'm aiming for Ella. With Doretta here, he's bound to react," Everett said, his eyes showing a hint of a plan. "But Doretta has turned against him. Would he care?" Akila wondered. "If we have Emma," Everett mentioned with a sly smile, implying more to his plan. Akila caught on. "That's a smart move. Go and get some rest," Everett directed, looking at Akila. "Yes, sir," Akila agreed and left the room. Everett looked around the room and chose to sit in a chair, closing his eyes to rest and think. The next day dawned bright and sunny. After dropping Nicole off at Riddle Corporation, Jared's car slowly pulled away. "Mr. Johnston, we haven't found where Everett is hiding yet. Mrs. Johnston is starting with Jerry, and they already control Hexton," Max updated him. Jared responded, appreciating the useful details from Preston. "It's unlikely Everett will appear soon, but he won't just sit back either. And with Akila with him." He hinted at the challenge Akila presented. "He'll show himself," Jared stated, looking serious and determined. Max was a bit shocked. He would risk coming out now. With the police after him, Zane's people searching, and their own vigilant watch, it seemed unlikely. He can't just hide forever, Jared was certain. Everett had been hiding for a long time, but now back in San Joto, he wouldn't want to just wait around. His resources were limited, which meant he'd have to act soon. "What's our plan?" Max inquired softly. Jared believed that if Everett was indeed planning something, it could be their chance to catch him. "Watch Doretta closely," he ordered sharply. Max understood the strategy and agreed. Everett must have plans for Doretta, or he wouldn't have bothered keeping her around. At Riddle Corporation, Nicole glanced up at Patricia, her voice tinged with concern. Go back and rest for now. Everett won't get far. I'm worried that if we don't catch him soon, he might still pose a threat to everyone's safety, Patricia replied, her face pale. She had spent the entire night searching for Everett, but there was no trace of him, so her anxiety was evident. Okay, what you need most now is rest. Look at yourself. Even if Everett were right in front of you, what could you possibly do? Don't forget, he has Aquila by his side, Nicole said somewhat resignedly. She understood Patricia's concern, but she knew that anxiousness alone wouldn't resolve the situation. But Patricia tried to protest but was silenced by Nicole's firm look. If you don't want to go back to the apartment, then head to the resting room. Right now, your main task is to rest, Nicole insisted, emphasizing the importance of Patricia getting some rest. Given Patricia's physical and mental state, she needed to recuperate to avoid being overwhelmed by the immense pressure. Okay, Patricia reluctantly agreed. After watching Patricia leave, Nicole sighed softly and shook her head. She knew it was essential for Patricia to rest well and regain her energy to tackle upcoming tasks. In the afternoon, after having lunch with Lulu, Nicole returned to find Patricia had woken up from her nap. Perfect timing, we brought you lunch, Lulu said, handing over the takeout meal box to Patricia. Thank you. Patricia gratefully accepted the meal box. Nicole observed Patricia, who seemed much improved after some rest. Thanks, I feel much better now, Patricia said, feeling grateful. She hadn't realized how tired she was before, but now that she had a chance to relax, she could feel her mind clearing up. Good. Nicole nodded. There's still more important work to be done later. Yes, Patricia responded. Lulu smiled and reminded, go have your meal. All right, Patricia replied, taking her meal box to the resting room. Nicole, any updates on what Preston mentioned yesterday? Lulu asked. Not yet, but Everett can't wait much longer, Nicole replied, her eyes showing concern. She believed that by now, Everett would be feeling the most pressure. What on earth could Everett be hiding? Lulu wondered, puzzled that despite so many people searching for so long, they still couldn't locate him. Nicole narrowed her eyes, deep in thought. Aquila must be really skilled, she said, wondering how Everett managed to get such a capable person on his side. Lulu nodded. He's definitely mysterious and skilled. He's hidden Everett so well that nobody can find him. Nicole added, people who can hide like this must be really good at avoiding being watched and must also be experts at disguising themselves. She figured this was how Everett's men managed to stay hidden from everyone searching for them. Ms. Riddle, I was thinking the same thing, Patricia chimed in as she entered the room, catching the tail end of Nicole's words. Does that mean it'll be even harder to find him? Lulu asked, her brow furrowing in concern. No matter how tough it gets, we have to find him, Nicole asserted, her gaze steely and determined. The room fell silent for a few seconds before Patricia broke the tension. Ms. Riddle, I'm heading to Bay Corp now. Despite having rested all morning, she was still anxious about Ella's situation. Okay, Nicole replied calmly. Patricia nodded and swiftly left the room. It's obvious that Patricia is really concerned about Ella, Lulu remarked, her expression softening. She had thought that everything had calmed down, but Everett's escape had caught them off guard. She added jokingly, Everett must be as hard to kill as a cockroach. Indeed, Ella is in greater danger comparatively, Nicole said, her voice tinged with concern. While she had entertained the possibility of Everett seeking revenge on members of the Riddle family, the current circumstances made it clear that Ella was the most likely target. You're right. Everett must have thought Ella was an easy target, but look how that turned out. Lulu shrugged, implying that Everett must be incredibly resentful toward Ella by now. Let's all just focus on our tasks. We can't stop everything just because of Everett. We need to be fully prepared, but we can't neglect our other responsibilities, Nicole resolved. Ensuring thorough readiness was crucial, but so was continuing with their usual work. Right, I'll get back to work, Lulu nodded in agreement. While she was concerned and intended to inquire about these matters, she also acknowledged her limitations in providing assistance. Hence, she decided to focus on the company's affairs instead, hoping to alleviate some of Nicole's burdens. Nicole sighed and picked up the phone to call Zane. "Nicole," came Zane's voice. After updating Zane on the situation, Nicole spoke softly. "We need to keep a close eye on Aquila and also Everett. I suspect he might use Doretta to his advantage." "I understand. I've been considering that possibility as well," Zane replied. "That's reassuring," Nicole said, feeling somewhat relieved. After a slight hesitation, Zane asked, "Is everything okay at home?" "It's fine. I guess since everyone already knows Everett's character and methods, it is easy for them to accept the situation," Nicole responded. "It's right to caution everyone to be careful." While they speculated on Everett's next move, it was still essential to maintain necessary precautions. "This situation might be a bit tricky. You be careful too," Nicole advised. Zane replied with a light chuckle. "Don't worry, I'd be more concerned if he didn't show up." "All right, take care," Nicole said with a slight smile before saying goodbye. "Goodbye," Zane ended the call. With everything arranged, Nicole took a deep breath and picked up the documents beside her, ready to tackle the next task at hand. Nicole's next task was simply to wait. As the day turned to dusk, Nicole left the office to pick up Nolan and Lana with Jared. With Tia and Stanley busy with their wedding preparations, the couple decided to personally take care of picking up the children. "Let's take the kids to the amusement park later," Nicole suggested to Jared. "Sounds good," Jared replied softly, always happy to go along with her ideas. After picking up Nolan and Lana, Nicole told them as they got into the car, "We won't be going home just yet. How about we go to the amusement park to have some fun?" "Yay!" Nolan and Lana agreed excitedly. Nicole smiled as she affectionately ruffled the kids' hair. They hadn't shielded Nolan and Lana from the events of the previous day. Although the kids didn't voice any concerns, Nicole sensed they might be feeling some stress. She believed in not hiding such matters from them, thinking it was better they were aware and could perhaps be more vigilant, especially since their safety could be involved. "Mommy, can we have ice cream there?" Lana looked up eagerly, her eyes full of anticipation. "Of course," Jared replied, lifting Lana up and playfully tapping her nose. Lana beamed with happiness, wrapping her arms around Jared. "Thank you, Daddy." Jared's face lit up with a doting smile. Seeing the children's joyful expressions, Nicole felt a sense of relief. Thankfully, the situation hadn't negatively impacted Nolan and Lana. At the amusement park, Nicole and Jared, along with Nolan and Lana, engaged in various rides and games the children enjoyed. Before they knew it, the sky had darkened completely. Wiping the sweat from Nolan and Lana's foreheads, Nicole gently said, "It's getting late. How about we take you to have dinner and buy you some ice cream?" "Okay." Nolan and Lana joyfully agreed. "After dinner we'll head home," Nicole added. "All right," Nolan and Lana nodded in agreement. They had indeed played for quite some time, and it was getting too late to stay out. After treating Nolan and Lana to ice cream, Jared and Nicole chose a nearby restaurant for a quick dinner. Exiting the restaurant, the streets were already lit up with neon lights. Holding Nolan and Lana, they got back into the car and headed toward the Riddle residence. "Mr. and Mrs. Johnston, the traffic is a bit congested. Please sit tight," Max suddenly mentioned. Nicole and Jared exchanged a look, then each held Nolan and Lana close. They understood Max's hint. A car was following them. He didn't elaborate to avoid alarming Nolan and Lana. The car picked up speed, with Max trying to lose the vehicle tailing them. He wasn't sure who was behind them, but being followed necessitated caution, especially with Nolan and Lana in the car. Raising an alarm could indeed scare them. "Daddy, I feel a bit dizzy," Lana said, likely feeling nauseous due to the fast, uneven driving. Jared held Lana closer, comforting her softly. "Hang in there, we'll be home soon." "Okay." Lana's little face turned pale as she snuggled into Jared's embrace. Max tried to keep the car as steady as possible, but the high speed made it challenging to maintain a smooth ride. After a while, Max gradually slowed the car down. Nicole glanced through the rearview mirror, noting that the car that had been following them was no longer in pursuit. Upon reaching the Riddle residence, Nicole, along with Nolan and Lana, got out of the car first. Jared instructed Max, "Find out exactly what happened." "Yes," Max responded respectfully. After Max left to investigate, Jared went into the house. Knowing that Jared had sent Max to look into the matter, Nicole didn't inquire further. Instead, she and Jared took Nolan and Lana upstairs. The next day dawned bright and sunny. After dropping Nolan and Lana at the kindergarten, Jared's car drove away. "Mr. Johnston, Mrs. Johnston, the people following us last night appear to be Lawrence's men," Max reported, frowning slightly. "Lawrence?" Nicole expressed surprise. "Why would Lawrence have his people follow us? Do you know what this is about?" Jared's voice carried a hint of coldness. Max hesitated before replying. "After realizing we noticed them, they left. There haven't been any further actions." Could it be they were checking on Nolan and Lana? Max speculated that since Lawrence often sneaked visits to the kindergarten to see Nolan and Lana, maybe he had arranged for someone else to observe, given that Nicole and Jared were now the ones doing the pickups. It's unlikely, Nicole dismissed the idea. She felt if Lawrence merely wanted to check on Nolan and Lana, he wouldn't need to go to such lengths. He could have come by himself, and she wouldn't be able to act against him just for that. After all this time, Lawrence had only been secretly watching the kids without revealing himself or letting them know of his presence. "So what do you think he's really up to?" Max asked, puzzled. "Not sure yet, but keep a close eye on him from now on," Nicole advised Max. Although she couldn't discern Lawrence's intentions, it was still wise to be cautious. "Got it," Max affirmed. Jared gently grasped Nicole's hand, offering a comforting gesture. Nicole offered a slight smile at Jared, understanding his reassurance that they would keep Nolan and Lana safe. Upon arriving at Riddle Corporation, Nicole got out of the car. After watching Nicole enter the company building, Jared leaned back in his seat, his gaze sharpening as he instructed, "Let's go." Max started the car and then added, "I'll arrange for someone to keep an eye on Lawrence." "Find the person from last night," Jared commanded in a low tone. "But..." Max hesitated, concerned that this might alert Lawrence and potentially spook him. Thinking this over, Max glanced at Jared through the rearview mirror, meeting his icy stare, and instinctively replied, "Yes, sir." As Max redirected his gaze, he internally acknowledged that Jared probably didn't mind alerting Lawrence, perhaps even intending to send Lawrence a warning. Leaning back, Jared looked out the car window, his expression unreadable and frosty. Meanwhile, once inside her office, Nicole settled down at her desk. When Lulu brought in some documents, she noticed Nicole's pale complexion and asked with concern, "What's wrong?" "It's nothing," Nicole shook her head, then looked at Lulu and asked, "Is everything going smoothly on your end?" "All is well, don't worry," Lulu reassured her. "Good," Nicole nodded, settling into the workday ahead. Lulu glanced at Nicole and lowered her voice, saying, "You look a bit off. Are you worried about Everett?" "No," Nicole slightly curled her lips, choosing not to share the situation with Lawrence with Lulu, not wanting her to worry as well. "Then, has there been any news from Everett?" Lulu frowned, noting how well Everett had hidden himself. Nicole sighed. "Still no news. I wonder how Patricia is doing." "Yeah, it's really frustrating not knowing what Everett is up to," Lulu complained. Nicole reassured her with a glance. "Patricia will inform us if there's any news." "I'm just worried about Patricia and Ella," Lulu sighed, knowing that only by resolving the Everett issue would things settle down. "Let's wait a bit longer," Nicole said, her eyes narrowing slightly. "That's all we can do," Lulu sighed. With Everett remaining hidden, they were indeed powerless. At Bay Corp, Patricia placed a document on Ella's desk. "Thank you." After expressing her gratitude, Ella looked up at Patricia and commented, "Everett has been quiet until now. He really can keep his calm. The quieter he is, the more dangerous it gets, Patricia warned Ella. Ella nodded. I understand, but I still hope he shows up soon. Despite the danger, it was still preferable to the current situation of being on tenterhooks. What they needed most now was to catch Everett, rather than letting him continue to hide endlessly. It's indeed strange when you think about it. This isn't like Everett's usual style. Could he be planning to sneak away again? Patricia mused, frowning. But according to Nicole, Everett is already cornered and unlikely to leave Hustuaberg again. Anyway, just be cautious, Ella reminded Patricia. He felt that the quieter Everett was, the more vigilant they needed to be. Yes, and with so many people watching, we'll be notified if there's any movement, Patricia whispered. Ella and Patricia exchanged a glance and shared a knowing smile. Although they needed to be on high alert, they understood there was no need to be overly anxious. Just then, Patricia's phone rang. She frowned slightly as she recognized the number. After a brief hesitation, Patricia answered the call. Hello? What? Really? Okay, I got it. Patricia hung up the phone with a frosty expression. What's up? Ella immediately became alert, wondering if there was news about Everett. After glancing at Ella, Patricia clenched her teeth, trying to calm herself. It's nothing, just some issues at headquarters. I need to go there. Is it about Charlie? Ella frowned. Even so, hasn't Jared already approved your leave from the squad? He didn't see the need for Patricia to go there. He understood her concern for her brother Charlie, but now that she was off the squad, it didn't seem appropriate for her to just go there. It's fine, I'm just going to check, Patricia said, finding an excuse without giving further explanations to Ella, then quickly left. Hey! Unable to stop Patricia, Ella could only watch as she departed. Although Ella was somewhat concerned, he reassured himself that Charlie wouldn't let anything happen to Patricia and let her go. After leaving Bay Corp building, Patricia wasn't actually going to see Charlie. The message she received had nothing to do with Charlie, but was related to Doretta. She didn't want Ella to worry, so she didn't tell him. Even though Everett hadn't shown up, Doretta had, and she had even contacted Emma. Patricia felt compelled to check on the situation. If Doretta posed any threat to Emma, she would be there to help protect her in time. Soon, Patricia arrived at the location she had been forewarned about, yet Emma was nowhere to be seen. Hasn't she arrived yet? Patricia frowned and inquired. We find it strange too. We've already sent someone to check. Just as Seth finished speaking, his phone rang. After he answered the call, his expression turned grave. What? Patricia immediately took the phone away from him and pressed for details. What happened? We've been deceived. Doretta changed the meeting location at the last minute, and now both Emma and Doretta have vanished, the person on the line lamented. Go check. Patricia uttered 2 words coldly and then hung up the phone. What should we do now? Seth was distressed that they had just lost track of them. Patricia felt a pang of panic but forced herself to remain calm. This was not the time to lose her composure. 15 minutes later, Patricia returned to Riddle Corporation. After hurrying into Nicole's office, she quickly relayed the situation. Nicole's expression shifted slightly, but she soon regained her composure, saying, They're probably trying to use Emma to threaten Ella. Emma won't be in danger for now. Why would Mrs. Riddle be so careless? Why did she avoid our security personnel? Patricia lamented. She couldn't understand why Emma had gone to meet Doretta alone despite knowing the risks. It's likely that Doretta said something, and Emma, worried about Doretta, dared not bring anyone with her, Nicole speculated. Patricia was somewhat anxious. I wonder when there will be news on Everett. Go and check on Ella. You'll definitely get some news when you stay with him, Nicole instructed Patricia. Yes, Ms. Riddle. Patricia acknowledged and left. Nicole bit her lip slightly, worried about Emma, but knowing that calmness was essential at this moment. She believed that since Everett had captured Emma, he wouldn't harm her before achieving his goal, and that was their window of opportunity. They needed to buy time, hoping to rescue Emma safely. To accomplish this, Ella's cooperation might be crucial. After quickly organizing her thoughts, Nicole called Ella and explained the situation clearly, instructing him on the next steps. "All right, got it, Nicole," Ella replied, his voice sounding serious. "You need to stay calm now. We'll work together to rescue Emma," Nicole advised gently. "Okay." Ella paused, then asked, "Patricia went out earlier because of this, didn't she?" He could easily deduce that the call Patricia received must have been about this situation. She went alone, not wanting him to worry, but unfortunately, her attempt was still unsuccessful. "I've asked Patricia to return. Coordinate well with her," Nicole responded. "Okay." After affirming, Ella ended the call. Hearing that Ella was relatively composed, Nicole felt somewhat relieved, thinking that as long as Ella remained calm, they could temporarily proceed with the planned actions, feeling there was still some hope. After a while, Patricia returned to Bay Corp. Seeing Ella's expression, Patricia understood immediately and said softly, "You already know." "Nicole called me," Ella replied. "I'm sorry, I didn't expect Doretta to change the meeting place at the last minute, and I didn't get to see your mother." And now, they didn't even know Emma's whereabouts. "This isn't your fault." Ella looked up at Patricia, his eyes serious. "But can you promise me that in the future, you won't hide dangerous situations from me?" This was about Doretta deceiving Emma, not a trap set for them. If it had been a trap, even if Patricia had gone, she might have already fallen into it, and both of them could have been in danger. "We will find a way to rescue Mrs. Riddle, rest assured," Patricia consoled Ella. "Okay." Ella nodded, his gaze falling on the phone. What Ella hoped for now was that his phone would ring, bringing news from Everett. Even if it were a threat, it would be good news for him. As long as Everett was willing to negotiate, Emma would be safe for the time being. Ella was prepared to give up everything to ensure Emma's safe return. "Ella." The office door was suddenly pushed open, and Emery hurried in. "Emery." Ella, looking pale, acknowledged Emery, realizing from his expression that he was aware of the situation. "Any news yet?" Emery frowned at Ella. Ella shook his head. "Nothing." "So, we just wait?" Emery was visibly frustrated. "There's no other choice," Ella said resignedly, knowing they couldn't even dare to search extensively for Emma, fearing it might provoke Everett into doing something drastic. "Emery," Dexter followed in, trying to calm him. "I told you to not panic just yet." "Dad, you're here too." Ella's eyes reddened slightly, feeling he had let Dexter and Emery down. "Don't worry, Everett will contact you. Whatever he wants, you agree to it. We must ensure your mother comes back safely," Dexter advised Ella. He knew that they had no other demands now. The safe return of Emma was all that mattered. "It's our fault. We never anticipated that Doretta would dare to harm Emma," Patricia expressed with guilt. She thought to herself that if she had known Doretta would heartlessly target Emma, she wouldn't have agreed to keep Emma in the dark about Doretta's intentions. And Emma wouldn't have easily trusted Doretta. "Doretta did this." Dexter was utterly shocked. "She's bought off by Everett." Ella laid out the whole situation. He had feared that Emma couldn't withstand Doretta's betrayal, so he lied about her whereabouts. However, he hadn't expected this would instead push Emma into peril. "She's utterly heartless," Dexter roared in anger. Then, he stiffened and fainted. "Dad!" Emery and Ella panicked, supported Dexter and then called an ambulance to take him to the hospital. As dusk fell, Nicole and Lulu visited the hospital after getting off work. "Uncle Dexter, are you feeling better?" said Nicole. She placed a basket of fruit down and inquired about Dexter's condition with concern. "It's nothing serious, I just got a bit overwhelmed," Dexter replied, still appearing somewhat weak. He had been too anxious, worried about Emma, and the news about Doretta made him faint from anger. "The doctor said he should be fine with a couple of days' rest," Ella explained. He then frowned and added, "Nicole, Everett still hasn't called me. What is he planning?" Everyone present was aware of the truth, so Ella didn't feel the need to hold back any information. Don't worry, he's just waiting for you to become anxious. Nicole glanced at Dexter and said, now that he likely knows Uncle Dexter is hospitalized, I think he will call you soon. Right after she spoke, Ella's phone rang. Seeing it was Everett calling, Ella immediately answered and shouted, Everett, if anything happens to my mother, I will never forgive you. Let's meet at Bay Corp's parking basement. Come alone, Everett said and then hung up the phone. Ella was momentarily stunned, listening to the dial tone from the phone. What did he say? Everyone asked at once. He wants me to go to Bay Corp's parking basement, Ella replied, somewhat hesitantly. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go, Emery said, already moving to take Ella with him. Dexter seemed eager to leave the hospital bed to join them. He asked me to come alone, Ella said, torn. The room fell into a tense silence, the air thick with anxiety. You can't go alone, Patricia was the first to break the silence. Regardless, she decided to follow Ella. She felt that him going alone wouldn't save Emma and could even put himself in danger. But if I take someone with me, Everett might not show up, or he might harm Mom, Ella said anxiously. He was willing to risk his own safety if it could ensure Emma's. What do we do then? It's too dangerous for you to go alone, Lulu expressed her concern, highlighting the dilemma they faced. Let Ella go alone. Give him whatever he wants, Dexter said, his priority clear. Nothing else mattered as long as his wife was safe. But what if Everett still refuses to release her, or even captures Ella after getting what he wants? Won't we be even more at a disadvantage? The concern was evident, pointing out the potential risk in their decision. Dexter's face paled, his eagerness to save Emma was strong. But he also didn't want Ella to be in danger. I'll go with Ella, Patricia paused before continuing. You should stay at the hospital and wait for our news. After speaking, Patricia looked toward Nicole and said, Ms. Riddle, Everett must have arranged for people to watch us, so we mustn't make any rash moves. She understood that if they arranged for many people to accompany Ella, there was no telling what Everett might do. Moreover, with Emma in Everett's hands, arranging for a large group would only lead to them being threatened by Everett, forcing them to restrain themselves. Nicole thought for a moment and then agreed. All right, but be careful. Understood. Patricia nodded. Let Ella leave first. I'll figure out a way to leave through the back door and then meet up with him. This way, it wouldn't be obvious that Ella had someone with him. Everyone was silent, seemingly caught in hesitation and conflict. Patricia had already turned to Ella, saying, Let's go. Don't worry, I'll bring Mrs. Riddle back. Ella looked at Patricia and nodded. Okay. He knew there was no other option now, and if Patricia could help him, there might indeed be hope to save Emma. As the two resolutely departed, Dexter finally snapped out of his daze, muttering, Could there be danger? Uncle Dexter, let's leave it to them. We are being watched here, so we can't make any careless moves, or it could put Emma at risk, Nicole consoled. This was the best course of action they had, and all they could do was wait and trust Patricia and Ella. Dad, you should rest. They can handle this, Emery also urged, understanding that there really was no better option. Dexter sighed, nodding his head with a worried expression. Despite his concerns, there was nothing he could do but wait. Nicole, should we secretly arrange for someone to assist them? Lulu asked, also feeling somewhat uneasy. I'll ask Charlie to try, but it's unlikely. At best, he might be able to provide some backup, Nicole said. Everett was always careful, and it was already hard for Patricia to avoid their surveillance. If Charlie brought people with him, they would probably be found out. Having him back them up is still helpful, Lulu said, her eyes shining with a bit of hope, thinking it might reduce some of the danger. Nicole called Charlie, explained the situation, and told him to meet up with Patricia. Let's hope everything goes smoothly, Lulu prayed, watching Nicole put away her phone. Don't worry, everything will be fine, Nicole reassured, trying to comfort everyone, including herself. Outside the hospital, Ella said, Patricia, you need to make sure my mother stays safe, and you have to stay safe too. He held Patricia's hand, his gaze serious. Biting her lip, Patricia nodded. She replied, "Okay." After giving Patricia a long stare, Ella let go of her hand and walked out of the hospital's main entrance. They couldn't leave together, as Patricia had to ensure no one noticed her departure. As she watched Ella's figure disappear, Patricia's eyes narrowed slightly, her demeanor becoming cold and determined. She was well aware that Everett, having had Doretta lure away Emma, was ultimately targeting Ella. Now, Ella had no choice but to do what Everett wanted. Everett was cunning and ruthless, finally making a move against Emma. After watching Ella's car leave, Patricia noticed another vehicle following it. She sneered, turned, and headed toward the hospital's back door. Even with someone tailing Ella, she knew there were still eyes watching their every move here. She couldn't let anyone discover she was following Ella. Soon after, Ella arrived at Bay Corp's parking basement and parked his car. He stepped out into the eerily empty space where even his footsteps echoed loudly. "Everett, I'm here," Ella called out, standing still. Moments later, a car drove in and parked opposite Ella's vehicle. "Mom!" Ella immediately spotted Emma, who was pushed into the back seat. He hurriedly rushed over. "Hold on." The front car door opened, blocking Ella's path. Looking at the person who stepped out of the car, Ella frowned. "Everett, what do you want?" "You should know what I want," Everett shrugged. "I expect you to be as decisive this time as you were before." Clearly, Everett was determined to take over Bay Corp, and this time, he wasn't going to give Ella any chance since he had Emma in his control. He was set on achieving his goal. "Fine, whatever you want. I'll give it to you, just release my mom," Ella agreed instantly, ready to lose everything if it meant securing Emma's safety. "Then sign this." Everett tossed a document folder to Ella. After catching it, Ella pulled out the documents and a pen but hesitated at the moment of signing. "Having second thoughts?" Everett mocked, noticing Ella's pause. Ella frowned. "You're after Bay Corp, so why are there Riddle Corporation documents here? Even if I sign them, they won't be legally binding." He wondered why Everett would ask him to sign these, knowing about that fact. "Whether it has an effect or not is up to Nicole," Everett scoffed, convinced that Nicole would compromise to ensure Ella's safety. Realizing Everett's intention, Ella looked at Emma, his eyes filled with turmoil. "What should I do? I can give up Bay Corp, but Riddle Corporation belongs to Nicole. If I agree to this, won't I be harming her?"
If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.